Hello, everyone.
And we're live. Whoa.
And we're live. I'm just playing with my microphone because it's always being annoying. So today we have Hope.
Hello.
Wonderful DM who destroyed us all yesterday. Emotionally destroyed us all yesterday, and we're still recovering. So first, little announcement up top. You'll notice Idle Champions. Yay! We have code. Use code. Code is good. It's the usual. So exclamation code, and it'll put it in the chat, and it'll remind people. So everyone, go play Idle Champions. Speaking of, Nightbot just came and did it for me. Thank you, Nightbot. He's a good little Nightbot. You're a good little Nightbot. So yes, I'm a bit scatterbrained today. So anyway, let's go for some questionnaires. But first, we'll just introduce Hope. Hope is the marvelous DM of our little adventure, and a lady of many talents. So Hope, how are you today?
I'm great. Thank you so much. It feels weird, like being in a hot seat, but like being in a different type of hot seat. Like, it's like I feel more vulnerable here than I am like as a DM.
Maybe you need your cool Nightmare King hoodie.
Yeah.
So Hope, I guess. What is your history of gaming? I mean, this ties into one of the questions we've got, but how did you get into TTRPGs?
So I actually started back in school. I won't say what year of school, so I don't know how old I am. I started back with 3.5 3.5 D&D.
Oh, me too.
And yeah, it's the best. I miss it.
It is good.
And then I remember really enjoying it, and it was really fun, but I wanted something more. I was addicted to X-Men, and I ended up finding out about GURPS. I don't know if you guys know.
I played it a little bit, but not much.
Yeah. So I took GURPS and I completely built this whole X-Men GURP game, role-playing game, and so I had all my players, and everybody was like a some sort of mutant of some sort, and then they'd go through we went through this huge long adventure, and in the end it came down to like, do you want to join the Brotherhood or do you want to join the X-Men? And everybody's like, I want to join the Brotherhood. I'm like, of course you are.
Yes.
So, no, it was really fun. So that was like my beginning into TTRPG, and then I didn't get to do it when I went off to college. I completely forgot about it, and then when I came down and moved to LA, and I made friends with a bunch of stunt people and whatnot. It turns out a lot of them are super nerds, and they like to play D&D, and made a group, and and one of them happened to be on an actual play that was looking for girl role players. Like, and this was like back when actual plays were not. I mean, you had Critical Role. That was, I mean, this was years and years ago, it feels like, and so I got to be on a actual play that was fresh and new, and it was just history. I like just kept rolling from there.
Wow.
And so yeah.
No pun. Yes. So aside from that, have you played other TTRPGs much, or is it mostly D&D these days?
I played, like I said, GURPS, and then I played Pathfinder, and I've dabbled in a couple of others, but yeah, mostly D&D has always been really close to my heart.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's go for some questions. Fallen Angel, our fantastic follower. How did the gasps / moans of your players and audience make you feel after last night's episode?
You know what? It feeds me. It's everything that I could ever ask for. You know what? You could pay me $1 million, or you could pay me in all those emotions. I'll take that every time.
Yeah, that's it.
It really is. It's like, as a storyteller, I just want to get people involved and really and the suspension of disbelief, and knowing that people are entertained and emotional from just us telling stories across a campfire kind of thing. It's everything that makes me happy. So I was very, I like to say, like, I did a lot of preparation. I'm one of those people who does not like to prepare anything. I'm just an improver, like, through and through. But I wanted to make sure, especially because this is like my first, like, legitimate campain, like, for an actual play and DMing and stuff. So it's I wanted to make sure I was getting things right. But yeah, it was great.
Yes. And following on from that, very similar question. Did you cackle like a happy cat? So specifically like a happy cat, when you received the list of your PC's nightmares?
Okay, no, sadly not, because everybody had really technical fears. Like, it wasn't as easy as just saying, oh, I'm afraid of spiders, like, oh, that's easy, I'll throw spiders at you. Like, everybody had really existential, like, dread, like, type fears, like, oh, I'm afraid that someone is gonna die and it's gonna be my fault, or, oh, I'm afraid that I'm gonna be a big failure, or I'm gonna, all these things that's like, oh, these are things that require more craftiness on how to personify these dreams and these nightmares. So the only one that really made me laugh was April, Nira, because I was like, tell me about your worst fear, and she's like, I don't know, it's probably dinosaurs or something. And then she, like, came back to me like a couple of days later. She's like, okay, wait, no, for real, it would be this. I was like, oh man, that could have been so easy. Just throw some dinosaurs at you. But yeah. So it's like, I always wanted to allude, like, everybody knew what we were kind of getting into when I was like, oh, I'm going to need your nightmares. Like, they didn't know anything about the nightmare realm or where they were going or why we need nightmares, but I just kept saying, like, nightmares is very important, or your biggest fears, I need to know them. So you guys all knew kind of what you were getting into by giving me so much fuel, or, as you guys have been saying, so many knives to throw at you. But yeah, it was hard to craft everything as I did, just because all of your fears were not quite like, like Reginald's was basically being poor. I love seeing it in the chat. They were like, oh no, his fear is being poor.
I laughed at that,
but to, like, to lose your status and to, like, trying to craft a whole story around that type of fear is, like, it's a little trickier than just, again, throwing spiders at you.
Did you find, I believe Duval was very late with his nightmare, giving it to you. Did you find that hard to prep for that?
Wait, what?
Was Duval?
Oh.
I thought he was really late in giving you his nightmare.
No, he actually came pretty quick back in, when I was first asking for them. He
must have got confused.
Yeah, he did give me a brief idea, and, like, he's like, this is kind of what it would be, and I'm like, okay, I can run with that. So he did get back to me the night before or the day before, and he was like, here's more detail on it, but I had a gist of what I was going to do.
I understand.
He definitely added some stuff to it, so yeah.
Yep. More questions. What inspired the setting of this miniseries?
I hate to say it, but have you seen Neil Gaiman's Sandman on Netflix?
Oh yeah, very good show.
Definitely had, like, an inspiration of, like, it was me coming down to thinking, like, this is only going to be 6 weeks, so I want to pack a lot into this 6 weeks. We'll go in hard, and we'll end with a bang. What's something that could be really fun and unusual? And I'm like, well, nightmares and dreams. I mean, anything can happen in a dream. You pretty much have limitless ideas. The rules are skewed, and it's like, so I was like, okay, that made it a lot less stressful for me to like have to like, oh, I'm gonna put them in the Forgotten Realms, and so now I need to go study on the Forgotten Realms and study about these and that and this and follow someone else's rules. I'm like, no, I'm just gonna make my own stuff, and we'll just play.
No, it's really good. Well, I know the answer to this first part of the question. Is this the first series you've DM'd? And yes, I believe it is. Yes. Sorry, go ahead. Yep.
I have done like a small home game that was like 5 out of it was supposed to be 6. It was supposed to be a 6-session game that I was DMing, and we didn't even get to finish it because of the pandemic. But
oh no,
broke right into it. But yeah, I've attempted, and so but this is like legit real first like what's happening here.
You're very good. What has surprised you about it that's different than a one-shot?
Surprised?
Yeah.
What has surprised me? I think the number one thing that has surprised me about this not being a one shot is that at the end of every episode, all of you players are like, when can we play again? Oh, we're going to play again next week. Is it next week yet? Is it next week yet? That was really surprising to me because, I've like never experienced that before. Like you do one shot and everyone's like, oh, that was so much fun. Blah, blah, blah. I'm so glad we did it. But to actually hear the words of like, is it next week yet? We want to play. We want to keep playing. We want to keep playing. Like that to me was, I was really taken aback by it the first time I heard it.
Yes, we are definitely like that. What are some of your favorite moments so far?
Okay, so I had a feeling something like this would be asked. So I kind of went and thought of a couple of. I wanted to think of like an instance with each character because it's so easy for me to think that way. The first thing that pops into my mind was actually Reginald. When I forget who asked him, but they were like, Reginald, you're aristocratic. Do you have any? Oh, I think it was Davies. Do you have any sky cities or anything? And he's like, well, we used to, but and then cities, and we, and like you were like BSing the fact that you had sky cities, and it was so funny because and then there was this moment of silence, and then everyone was like, do we have to insight check that, or can we just
that was great. Yeah.
It was so funny, and it was so funny because I think I was like, what is he talking about? Has he seen Sky? And like it just totally like you were playing into it so well that it was just like I was just like, I love that he kind of went for it. Like, if somebody asked you if you had sky cities, like, of course, if you want to seem super,
fancy and noble,
fancy and rich, of course we had sky cities.
Sky cities. What are you talking about?
It was just such a fun way to play it.
Yeah.
I think with Silva, favorite moment, of course, was getting to play the Nightmare King with her.
Oh, that was juicy.
That moment of just letting her feel the feels and make us feel the feels. That was amazing. I think with David, there's a lot of good moments with David. I don't think I came up with one for David just because I mean it's easy to say when he be-shaped into the owl-ish thing. That's always great.
That was so great.
It was wonderful. For Kotatar, I had this one. What was it? No, okay, I'll say Sun Leon first. My favorite, just imagining, I can just imagine this as like just the way that Daniel would do this thing was like when the tentacles literally kept attacking him and they kept missing and he was just like like doing this little dance, and I could just totally picture Sun Leon doing that.
Yeah.
I love that. And then what was it with Kotatar? I think with this is a hard one because Kotatar has. I think with Kotatar, I really, really liked the moment where he just busted out laughing.
Yes.
In the last episode. Like, that was an amazing moment to see from him.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just don't expect it. And it's just really well role played. And then with Nira, like, oh my God, every moment with Nira.
Nira's whole existence.
Her whole existence is adorable. And chaos, and I love it. And she's just so pure and just, I'm going to do a thing. We're doing a thing. But I will have to say, I really, really liked the way that she played the, when the broom slipped out of her, and she's just like, she's like actually acting it out. I think those are all my favorite moments because, you know, you guys are really taking the role play to another level, you know. Did I miss anybody? There's so many of you guys.
I think that's everyone. Yes, I think yes, we're a good combination. Yes. Lee's got a question. Hello, Lee. Was there a moment where you felt, okay, we really got something here? In general, I guess.
Okay. I don't. Like, there was obviously, you know, that moment actually did not hit me until last night. Until after last night's episode, did I allow myself to say, okay, we've got something here, because I'm just always so paranoid that I'm going to mess something up. So I don't want to think about things being, you know, so good, because then they'll be taken away from me, you know, if I, you know, so like I didn't allow myself to think that until after last night. I was like, okay, this is just, I love these people. This is something amazing. I don't know how this happened, but it happened. But I will say that I had the first inkling of it, even though I wouldn't let myself think it. I literally had the first inkling of, this is not normal, when we were all thinking up character creation. So I asked everybody, I got everybody on board to come do this 6-week show. And I was like, I'm feeling so grateful that you guys are, you know, taking your time out of your busy schedules, because I know all of you guys are, you know, such incredible people doing amazing things, that you're actually going to take a chunk of time for 6 weeks to dedicate to this show. And I just remember thinking, like, oh my God, they're gonna, it's great. They're gonna come in, they're gonna make a character, they're gonna play it, it's gonna be great. But no, the very first, our session 0, when I was going over all the rules, homebrew, safety zones, everything like that. And then I was like, okay, and I don't want to take up any more of your time. So, you know, thanks guys, that's it for me. And everyone's just sitting there on the Zoom, and they're like, cool, so what are you guys thinking of playing? And then and then you guys just started already talking about character ideas. And then you ended up, I feel like we went on for like at least another hour of just like talking about characters and me trying to tell you guys the world. And you guys were like, oh, if you know, I'm thinking about doing this and this, and like, let's look at, I'm building my character right now. And I'm like, and this was back in early December, maybe. No, it was
mid-December, I think. Yeah.
Was it mid-December?
Early to mid, yeah.
Yeah, so we had a whole month before the thing, and everybody was already building their characters and like talking about, you know, how they knew each other or their characters knew each other. And I was just like, I was really blown away. I was like, I mean, I play with a lot of great people in this community, but especially you get to do so many of these different things. You make characters, and everybody was putting so much heart and soul into everything that they were doing already. And it literally just blew my mind. I was just like, that was the first inkling of like, okay, this is something special, because these people are putting so much into it, even though it's just going to be a small run thing. You know, that just, it just, yeah, I was taken aback by it in the best way.
Yeah, that blew me away too. And I must say, last night's episode, I think we all felt we had a good group, but I think last night's episode really cemented that. And I think I think if you take a step back, I think like people looking at us from the outside, like just people who aren't into this hobby would just think, oh, how weird, how surreal this, not even surreal, just how strange this is. But I think the good storytelling, no matter what medium it is good storytelling. So whether it's, so last night made me feel the same way good music makes me feel, good TV, movies, good plays, anything like that. That gave me that same feeling. And that's not normal. And that's weird to anyone who doesn't know what D&D is. But yeah, I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Still coming down emotionally from last night. All right, more questions. What, I kind of covered this a little bit, but what player or character has surprised you? So I guess which one has surprised you the most, I guess?
Oh man, I want to think about this carefully. I want to say that Reginald has surprised me the most.
Okay.
Yeah. Reginald and Silva, like the choices that they've been making have just been, I don't know if it's Damien and Danny that have been surprising me or if it's the characters, but I always find myself really excited to see what's going to come next from them. I think, yeah, I was going to say, I totally had a brain fart for a second. I was thinking of, what was the question again?
What player or character has surprised you the most?
Yeah. I mean, I have to say April has also surprised me the most just because of how much like personification she has with everything she does is very, you just instantly get a picture of what she's doing and who she is and stuff.
Yeah.
And so everything that she does is always just a sparkle of joy. But yeah, I definitely say that, oh gosh, everyone, of course, David, although I mean, Lee, I know he has big plans for David. So I like every time I see him planting these seeds and, trying to grow through these things, it's just incredible. But yeah, I'd have to say, yeah, I'd say the most. Well, everyone has done it. Even Kotatar for, playing such a like reserved character has had some really great moments as well. And
Yep.
San Leon with his raging. But yeah, I'd say Danny and Damien always coming in with those feels.
Aww. Yeah, well, we had the session before we started. I think that helped us kind of grow as characters, Silver and Reginald. But what's really strange is that last night's episode was so emotional, but Silver and Reginald didn't really have anything to do with each other, except like the very end.
Yeah.
I think that goes to show we've got a good group who bounces well off each other.
Yeah.
All right, next one. These are all from Fallen Angel. We love lots of questions, so don't worry. What brings you joy as a DM?
Literally just seeing people enjoy themselves, seeing the players enjoy themselves, like seeing them excited for next week, just like week after week. That just brings me all the joy I will ever need in life. Just knowing that I'm doing right by their characters and giving them a story that they enjoy playing, giving them a sandbox that they enjoy playing in. And yeah, nothing brings me more joy than just at the end of the session, everyone, like as soon as the cameras turn off, they go, ah! What are we gonna play again? Let's go, I'm ready to go right now.
Yeah.
It really makes me happy.
It makes us happy too. Yes, okay. I'll add an addendum to this question. Did you always plan to make us tear up by hurting your NPCs, And what everyone wants to know, everyone mainly being me, is Steve okay?
Well, okay, yes, the answer is yes. I absolutely hope I am tearing your hearts apart with killing off of NPCs. You may have noticed I'm a huge fan of doing that.
Yep, it's good.
Nobody is safe, not even you guys, but definitely not the NPCs. And I can't tell you if Steve is okay or not because he's not my NPC. He's April's.
Oh, good point. I should be asking Nira all these questions. Is Steve okay? Is Steve okay?
Yeah, Steve the orc for those who.
Yes, Steve the orc. Another question. How do you choose the voices for your NPCs? Do you take notes to keep them organized in your head?
I'd like to think that sounds like a great idea, but really, I will practice voices for sure. But on the day, whatever comes out is what comes out. You know, I'll think like, oh, this is a little kid. What would a little boy sound like? I don't know. Let's just whatever comes out is gonna be right. So, yeah. The only one I've really like been like, okay, I want to make sure I get this right would be like the Nightmare King. You know, everyone else is kind of like, oh, I kind of picture him as like a Dustin Hoffman kind of character or like a something, you know, and then I'll just kind of go for it.
Cool. That's excellent. How long does it take you to choose the music for each episode?
Way longer than you'd think.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Okay.
I spent a very long time trying to make the music work and making sure that it's royalty free and searching for things that just have the right energy. And then I download them and I rename them and I label them and I make sure that, okay. And in my notes, I have music cue, this number. And then I go to this and I'm like, okay, when I'm reading my notes, I'm like, okay, I have some music cue. And like, so I'm like really particular. I really am one of those like storytellers who believes that like music and atmosphere really do enhance the storytelling.
Yes, they do.
And I think it's a really important thing to have. And I'm not a big fan of dead air. I don't like dead space. Like, if you lived with me, you'd realize that I have like YouTube on 24/7, even when I'm trying to sleep, because I can't handle silence. So like, I'm one of those people who just definitely needs some sort of energy, a little bit of background music. So I put a lot of thought and effort into the music, and I just got like 1,000 more songs royalty free thanks to Daniel.
I got that too. I thought
you did?
I don't know if I'll ever use it, but it's kind of like good to have.
Yeah.
So cheap, it was ridiculous.
It was worth it. Yeah. It's a write-off.
Oh yes, tax write-off.
My D&D music is a write-off.
Oh, excellent. Yeah. A question from myself before we go back to the list of Fallen Angels questions. Did you speak to any DMs before this miniseries? And is there a DM or DMs out there that you take inspiration from?
This is a great question. No, I haven't talked to... I take that back. I talked to Lauren Urban.
Fantastic, Lauren, yes.
My light in the dark, my knight in shining armor. She is always the one I turn to when I have questions, especially when it comes to being a DM. She's just so knowledgeable, and she's really well experienced, and she has she's amazing. So yeah, I definitely talked to her going into this. I asked her a couple questions on how to go about certain things, and like, races, and like how to make sure that I'm, all these little things that you think about when you're a DM. You want to be your story, world building, and I would say though, I have huge inspirations. I have been the luckiest duck in the world to have gotten to play with underneath some of the best DMs I've ever known. I got to play under Todd Kenrick. I got to play under B. Dave Walters. And of course I got to play under you know, Deborah Ann Wool, you know, like these are the people I take all of my inspiration from, you know, like Todd's amazing fantastical ideas and the way that he just rolls with things as they go, and he's just every step is builds to something more and more grand. I remember when I was at his table, every time that, you know, we'd be done with a session, I'd be like, how are you going to top yourself next week? And he'd be like, I've got ideas. And then next week I'm like, how did you just top yourself from this week? and so it was because of him. I knew it could be done, because without that proof, I would be like, I couldn't believe it. And then of course with Deborah Ann, well, she's just one of the most amazing storytellers I've ever met. Yeah, she's so good at describing things. She has really ingrained the importance of describing things and giving them tactilism, and, you know, and just painting that picture for everyone. And she's so giving, and she's got amazing house brew rules that I have been playing with now for over a year, and I kind of forgot that they were homebrew rules, and so we're using them in this game, and everybody's like, oh, I love that you do that thing, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, that's a Deborah thing. That's a Deborah thing. It's not me. So I take a ton of inspiration from her and her amazing story abilities. She's just incredible. She's incredible.
Did you take your kind of puzzle inspiration / love of puzzles from Deb? Because I know Deb loves puzzles.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think I've played under another DM who does puzzles. I'm trying to recall. I mean, I guess home games there would be puzzles. But like as far as like actual plays, I feel like you don't see puzzles a lot. But with Deb, she's very much into her puzzles, and I am 100% on board with it. I love a good puzzle, and they're hard to come up with. They're really hard to write, because, you know, you write an idea, you come up with the answer, then you write the puzzle, and then you try to break it a million different ways. And I'm talking about a million different ways, and it's so easy to break a puzzle. You have no idea. And so trying to make it literally player proof, you know, like, you know, you don't want to make it too hard, but you don't want to make it too easy, and you don't want to make it breakable. And so I work really hard on the puzzles, and there's actually 1, 2, 3. There are 3 more puzzles in this show.
Yes.
But you may only get to 1 more.
Ooh.
So
listeners, I love puzzles, but I'm really bad at them. So give them to me so I can fail them. Unfortunately, Daniel is the opposite, who hates puzzles, but he's so good at them.
I know.
I would have swapped brains with him anyway.
I'll be sure to save them for something good. Don't worry, they won't go to waste.
Okay, good. Lee, who's a sweetheart, asks, how does it feel to be their contemporary now and not just their player in terms of the DMs?
Oh, that's such a lovely question. I don't feel that way at all. I don't feel like that, but I guess I'll say I'm starting to see things from a different perspective now, which is, you know, that I can see, oh, now I understand, you know, what it's like for Deborah when someone solves her puzzle, or, you know, like I'm starting to understand, like, oh, I now realize how much work just went into all of that. And, you know, like, but definitely just a little small fry over here, just playing a game. We'll see. Maybe one day I can be up with the greats.
Yes, Lee says, show them your show and tell them, let them tell you are. So yes, absolutely.
Lee.
Fallen Angel has another one just about what we're talking about, puzzles. How do you balance a puzzle and puzzle solving between players who love them, and like me, and players who don't?
I think, how do you balance a puzzle and a puzzle solving between players? I think you just got to give everybody something to do. I know I really didn't do that on my last puzzle, but you don't want to make it so complex that the people who don't like puzzles give up really easily and or get really bored.
Yeah.
But that's a really rough balance. You just want to, make it fun. I think the idea is to make it not, hey, this is a puzzle you must get through. Like, this is a part of the game. This is just a part of the game. You're playing. You can do whatever you want. Don't restrict people.
Yeah.
I know a lot of times with puzzles, it can be easy, especially when you work so hard on a puzzle, to be like, no, you got to do it this way. Stop doing that. but no, you just got to let the players play, because that's, in the end, it's not about your puzzle. It's about the fact that they're having a good time. So you got to stay, grounded in that sense of just being like, okay,
Yeah, and I think that applies to many things in the D&D world, like rules lawyering and stuff like that. I mean, if players are having fun, that's the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you watch the stream afterwards to take additional notes? Watch the reactions of the rest of the party?
I watch the stream again, usually right after, to go, and then I'll watch it again for notes. But yes, absolutely. Wow. I definitely have to watch it back when I'm not like thinking of 100 million things as that happens live. I know there's always stuff even though I'm paying attention, like there's some things that just don't hit as they should and or sink in. So yeah, absolutely. I'll watch it back just to enjoy it, and then I'll watch it back for notes.
Oh, cool. Wow. 3 times. Wow. Any advice, this is from Fallen Angel again, any advice for wannabe players who want to run a miniseries, and any advice for wannabe DMs who want to run a miniseries, and any advice for wannabe players who want to play in a miniseries? Does that make sense?
Swap numbers, everybody. if you want to DM a miniseries, and if you want to play a miniseries, and you're like-minded people, that's all it takes. You really just gotta. I think the hardest thing is finding a group that'll do it. If you want to do it, then do it. I think the advice for if you want to be a DM. And of course, I'm a super newbie, so this is probably silly coming from me. But I find that I started off with a couple one-shots, a couple charity one-shots. Just one session things, forget cameras and television and all this stuff. It's just you want to do a one-session thing, get some people together, have a good time. Then step it up. Okay, let's do a 4-session story. You have the arc, the story. You are going to be slightly railroading people, but it's for you to practice and let your players know that. Like, I'm here to practice and to understand what it takes to be a DM in this very confined and controlled situation. So and the same thing goes, 6 to 8 week. You start building and building. Don't try to take on literally a giant piece of pie that you can't eat because you're overwhelming yourself with, I'm going to have this whole 10-year long arc and a whole world that I've built. Like, just build a little tiny world. Like, you're on an island, your 6th session could take place on an island that has been mysteriously surrounded by a fog. And so they have no way to escape. They're stuck on the island. So you don't have to build an economy and politics and all this stuff. Just keep it simple.
Yep.
And yeah.
I'd agree with that. Right, 2 more questions. Next question, and I think Lee said this question too. It's a very important question. Why are you so awesome?
You tell me, man. I don't know.
She was grown on an awesome tree, and she fell from the awesome tree, and she entered this world just purely awesome. There you go.
You know what? I can't answer that question. I really can't. But I will say it's because I surround myself with people who are awesome. It takes one to know one, and that's usually when I say, "I know you are, but what am I?"
And of course, everything is awesome. Right, next one. Your passion for the game and these amazing players can clearly be seen as you run them through this nightmarish realm. What do you hope to hear from your players at the end of this run?
Can we please keep playing?
We want some more. We want some more.
Please, sir, can I have some more? Yeah, no, that I couldn't think of anything I'd like to hear more than just, can we just keep going? You know, like that again, and I've already said it, like that's already what everyone's saying every week. Like, we can't wait until next week. We can't wait to play more.
Yeah.
You know, so I'll keep it simple. That's it. That's all I want to hear.
Yep. I think kind of answered this question. Was it difficult to choose the thread for each PC's nightmare?
What the hardest thing was that I was trying to interlink them. So I spent nights and nights and nights toiling over how can I make this more interactive for every single person involved, so that you're not just sitting and watching as someone else is playing out. I wanted to see if I could try to weave a way to involve people. So I was like, okay, certain people's nightmares need other people in order for them to make sense. Like Nira, she needs to be surrounded by people in order for nobody to hear her. You know, she or Sun Leon needs to have somebody to, you know, hunger over, and you know, the companions. But there are some who need to be alone. Like their fear needs to be dealt with by themselves, or it's scarier when there is no one around. So it was all about and knowing, and I love Danny so much because she picked up what I was putting down, and it was perfect. You know, she attacked the Nightmare King like I wanted her, and then she attacked him again, and I was like, I was hoping you would, because then I was gonna make it you, I was gonna make it Damien, I was gonna make it Reginald.
Yes, juicy.
And then you played into it, and so these were all little things I was trying to like tie together, like how can I get everyone involved in everyone's fears. So that's what was the hardest thing. Individually, just writing all the stories and ideas was, you know, pretty straightforward, but that's what I really wanted to work on.
Yes, excellent. Whose backstory are you most curious about? Assuming you don't know. I think you know some, but I don't know if you know all.
Mira. That little bundle of Mira. Don't know much about her. I do know her backstory, and I love it to death. But I think I get joy out of, like, she hasn't, at least to me, fleshed it out as much as a lot of you guys have. So a second of that, like I do know, especially now, a lot about everybody's backstories. I feel like I could know more a bit about Reginald's, like down the line. I feel like there's some like holes in Reginald's story I'd like to fill. But yeah.
Yep.
David always. David is he's a what did you say, Lee? It was your forward
destiny or something?
Yeah, something like that. Instead of backstory, it's forward story.
Forward story, yes.
And that's funny because once again, and I see a lot of Penelope, my character Penelope in David, but Penelope had very little backstory, and I played her for 4 years. She was always a forward story person. She didn't have things that affected her that caused her to do things. She had things in her future she was trying for that were pushing her forward. She wasn't being pushed forward by her past. She's being pushed forward by her future, if that makes sense. And that's very much David's story. I don't know very much at all about David's backstory. I don't even think I know anything except for I think he lived in a little tree, like a Keebler elf or something. I think is the way he described it. He's always doing a forward story of how he's been brought into this whole role of destiny and being pulled into this thing he doesn't want to do. So it would be interesting to learn more about David.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Speaking of, Lee has a question. from the Twitch. Has there been any moments where we haven't picked up what you put down and went a direction you didn't expect?
That's a really great question. I don't know, because I'm kind of there were I'm going through the game. I mean, we've only had a few episodes, and luckily you guys have I will say you guys have done things that I haven't expected you guys to do when picking up the strings that I've been laying down. So like I said, with the puzzle, there were 3 ways to solve the puzzle, and you guys solved it in the one way I did not think you guys would solve it. So I was very impressed by that. At the game stand, I had different games you could have played that could have given you certain benefits had you played them.
Oh, what? Damn it! I should have known that.
So there's that, but for the most part, you guys have, again, it goes to show that you guys are amazing players, because you know how to, you're having a good time. I'm trying not to railroad you. That's my biggest fear, is railroading. I mean, even though we have a train coming up, it's just like, I want to make sure you guys are just having fun and doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
I've had to railroad you, of course, a couple times just because it is a 6-week show. But you guys are such amazing players, is that you pick up on things so easily. Like, you're like, okay, I understand where the story's going to go. We're going to go this way. And so pretty much everything I put down, you guys pick right back up.
Cool. So I've got a question. It's kind of related to that. How did it feel last night for the first half of the episode? You pretty much didn't have anything to do. How did that feel for you? You
know what? And this actually goes back to another question. Like, I finally understood how Deborah Ann Wool felt.
Oh, wow.
In our show that she DMs, she never gets to talk. she literally just sits back for like literally 80% of the episodes, and like we just play as characters interacting with each other, and we do lots of like backstory and like just stuff, campfire stories, and like just chatting and like investigating stuff, and we never push the plot forward. It's crazy. Like the very first dungeon that we went into was supposed to maybe take like 3 or 4 episodes, and it ended up taking like half a year. It was ridiculous.
That's so funny.
Yeah, so I finally understood how she felt, and it was really interesting to like just sit back and be like, okay, I'm not in control at this moment. I'm not in control. And that's a very interesting feeling as a DM, to just like, and sit back and just enjoy it, and just like let these characters grow, and like just let them be in this world that you've created, and to let them shine through with what they've like. They're like, hey, look at all this work I've done on this character. Let me share it with you, another player, and let's grow these characters together. And the DM can just, sit back and enjoy that happening. It's absolutely a fantastic feeling, and I love watching you guys play. I love watching you guys just take those moments.
Yeah, I love it too. So more questions from me. If anyone's got any more chats, put them in the Twitchathon. So outside of D&D, what are your hobbies? I know you're a Lego. I'm pretty sure you're a Lego fan.
I am.
What's your favorite Lego structure you've created?
Well, we just did the Queer Eye house. That was really fun.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
So we would always we'd put on Queer Eye. We'd like put it on, and then we would build the Queer Eye Lego set while watching.
Oh, wow!
So much fun.
Wow.
No, I really like the flowers. We just did. We had a what do you call it? A little bonsai tree. Super cute.
Oh.
So yeah, like lots of little stuff like that. I think my most prized possession, though, when it comes to Lego, is I actually have a Lego Oscar. and it is an official Lego Oscar because
Cool.
when the Lego movie was nominated for an Oscar, the production company made a certain amount of Oscars made out of Lego to hand out to all of the people at the Oscars. So everybody there got one.
Wow.
But they had a surplus, but they had a small amount of surplus. And I ended up getting one of the final, I think I got like the last or second to last one that was available. And so it's in my collection. It's got the authenticity card and everything. Like, this is an official Oscar thing. And so I'm like, it's a real Oscar. It's a real Academy Award,
That's
but
so
it's made of
cool.
Lego. So that's that's my biggest thing. But but yeah. Huh?
Did you get that for free, or you have to pay for it?
Oh, I had to pay for it.
Oh, yeah. And they probably charged you a fortune, didn't they?
Yeah. It was worth it, though. I love it.
Yeah.
The only Oscar I'll ever get, but
You never know. You never know, people.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to ask one. How did you get to know everyone else in the group? Did you have previous relationships with anyone? How did you get to know everyone?
Gosh, well, you cold messaged me out of nowhere. So
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
Amazing things happen sometimes.
Yep.
So, Lee, you're gonna have to remind me how we actually met, because I remember wanting to ask you to play in my one shot when I was doing that one shot that one time, but I can't remember what our relationship was before that. I think I just remember thinking you were really awesome and you made pancakes and thought it'd be really cool if we could play.
Lee's saying Daniel's art stream.
Oh, well then I guess, I don't know. I'm trying to remember because it feels like it was a long time ago. It has been a couple of years. I know Duval from his Oops All Druids one shot.
I saw that. That was really good.
Part of that, so good. And I was so stoked to be part of that, because he's like, you ever just look at a person and even if you can't see auras, you just see them sparkle. Like, there's just like a sparkle around Duval at all times that just makes you just want to just attach to him and never let go.
100%. Yep.
And then I know, of course, I know Daniel through. He did a commission for me. That I met through Lauren. He did some amazing art, beautiful art. I love it.
He's so good.
Danny, I only know because of my lovely friend Jen Kretschmer, who just suggested her for this game, and she was the first person I asked. I was like, oh my god, yes. And she's like, yes. And I was like, yes. So and then of course I didn't know April at all either. I know of her in the community, and she's someone who's amazing, and I just couldn't believe it. She said yes to playing in my game. I was like, oh my god. She's such a lovely human being.
She really is.
But I think that's everyone. Yeah, it's just kind of like just being in the community, and that's how it shows you how powerful the community is.
Oh, 100%. Yep. Oh, okay. Lee is asking, will you at some point run us through an X-Men one-shot?
Oh, heck yeah.
I'm down for that.
I gotta use this X-Men knowledge for something. I mean, it's not getting me anywhere else. I always wanted to be, I either wanted to direct an X-Men movie, or I wanted to play Hope Summers in some sort of X-Men movie. She's already been alluded to in the Cable films, in the Deadpool films. So, I was just like, it was my dream to do something with X-Men. So maybe the dream is to just run an X-Men campaign or something.
Yeah, or a one-shot for charity or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be good. Let's do that. Okay, any more questions, people? Otherwise, I've got some. Oh, Valentine's Day one-shot.
Aww.
Valentine's Day one-shot. That might be an idea.
Our last episode is on the 15th, so no time
so
for a
it is.
one-shot.
Yeah, the day after. Yes. Yes. So what are you hoping, and this is hard to ask, I ask everyone this, but it's hard to ask the DM this question. what are you hoping happens in the remaining episodes? Well, you know what's going to happen narratively, but what do you hope? I guess without spoilers, what do you hope we do as players?
I hope you guys get on the train.
No train. Sorry.
No, I hope that you guys fight the Nightmare King, because there's always an option that you won't. Mm-hmm. I hope that you guys maybe don't fight the Nightmare King. See what happens. I hope that you guys understand that while it is I want you guys to understand that your actions will have consequences outside of this game. Ooh. For whoever plays in this world from now to come. This world that I have made, you guys are affecting. And the decisions that you make will stay within that world wherever I take it.
Oh.
So I want you guys to have fun with your decisions is what I'll say.
Oh, no pressure. Far out. Okay, that's some more trauma. Wow. Okay. Holy sugar. All right. I will ask you this question, and I do not want you to be, this is not for you to be critical of yourself. It's not to be, I don't want anyone to be critical of themselves, because I know some people suffer with self-esteem issues, and you are amazing and brilliant. But what do you think has worked so far in this miniseries, and what hasn't worked, do you think? If anything.
Oof. Yeah, that is when you ask these to other people, I was like, oh, this is a tough one. What has and hasn't worked? Gosh, that's a hard one, because I haven't really taken the mental time to like break down what has happened so far. I'm more worried about what's going to happen. I think I don't know, because I mean, not to say I like, oh, now I'm gonna be critical of myself. Like now to like think more critically about what's going on and what has happened.
Constructive criticism is always healthy.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I hope what's working is okay. So and you know this, it took me a long time to come up with a name for this 6-week. You kept saying, "Do you have a name yet? Do you have a name yet?" I'm like,
Sorry,
name.
Didn't mean to bug you.
No. Sorry. Every name I was coming up with was too spoilery, because the original name for the show was going to be called Realm of the Nightmare King. That was going to be the title of the show, because I'm like, oh, it pops, it's catchy, it makes you wonder. And I was like, but I don't want to give away the secret that they're going into the nightmare realm. Yep. And so I was just waiting. I was like, oh, I really hope that, like, I can't wait to just be able to, like, you're in the realm of the Nightmare King. And I was like really expecting that to be like a big boom, 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 boom. And it was like, and like finally got my little one to be like, you're in the realm of the Nightmare King. And everyone was just like, oh, what's that? Cool. What's going on with that? I'm just like, no, it's supposed to be a big reveal. And everyone's just like, okay. I'm just like, no. And in the fact that, because I made sure to not lay into the fact that this whole thing was going to be revolved around, the Nightmare King and this evil Nightmare King. I think what's not working is the fact that, because I've not alluded to it at all, you guys, not until the very end of last night did you guys even care about the Nightmare King.
Oh, so that's where now.
You care now, but I was toiling at night being like, oh crap, they don't even care about the main bad guy. Like, what? They don't even care about saving the king. Like, that was where I messed up. Like, that's where I'm being critical of myself, of like, I did not do a good job of making you guys really care about fixing the situation. I kind of just assumed you as adventurers would be like, oh, a missing king, we'll go save him. Like, no, you guys have no reason to. You don't care. Like, there was no reason to say, oh, King Adonian, we need to go help him. You guys still don't feel that way. Right now, you just want to kick the Nightmare King's ass.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't even care about the king. So I think I think that's where I need to be more, that I am being critical of myself. So, constructive criticism is make them care more about your plot, your plot point of, this king was stolen away and you should care to want to go and get him back. So that's where I kind of made a boo-boo.
Well, that's probably my fault because I keep saying, hey, that queen doesn't seem to be, very helpful. It's
Oh my god!
and I keep saying, I'm suspicious about her. So,
yeah, I know. I was like, dang it.
So probably blame me for that one.
That's just like, it's one of those things where I was like, oh crap, I didn't really think about what the queen should do after we save her. I guess I'll just make her go away. So she's not a burden.
That's good because it makes us think about,
Well, I should have had her stick around and be like, oh, thank you for saving me. Now, please go save my king or something. But no, I just had her run off. I'm like, well, crap. Oh, well. So,
I think it makes for good humor, personally.
Yeah.
So Fallen Angel asks, what instructions did you give to the artist to do the title art? So that was a bit of a combination effort between me and you.
That was all you.
Well, you I did ask you like what kind of tones you wanted and what.
Yeah, because I didn't want to give it away. I ended up sending Damien a picture of, if you guys have ever seen Rise of the Guardians.
Yes,
the animated movie. Yep. The Nightmare King from that, he has the darkness of his realm and the shades that they use for him, the bright yellow eyes, and then the dark figure, and like I sent a picture of him to Damien, and then whatever happened on your side, it looks amazing. I don't know how you did it.
Yep. Then I asked my friend Jan, also known as Johnny Johnson, hey, can you make me something cool based on this concept?
Oh.
And he does all the hard lifting. I don't do anything. I say, can you do this? Can you make me an overlay? And he's very, very good. So he's good. And he doesn't even charge me for it. Jeez.
Oh, so sweet.
He's a good friend, so he
very good at what he does.
He does it for me. Yes, he is extremely good at what he does. So before we kind of wrap up, and I'll just one more call for questions for the Twitch. Do you have anything you want to plug, Hope?
Well, I always love to plug my Children of Erte show with Deborah Ann Wool and the most amazing players, other than you guys, of course, that I get to play with. I'm pretty sure everybody who's here knows me from that, but I will plug it anyways. Every Tuesday from 6 to 8 p.m. PT on the Demiplane RPG channel on Twitch. And there's another super important thing I'd really like to plug. It's this show called Fantastic Kings and Where to Find Them. It's pretty good. You've got 2 more episodes to get in on. Got to get in on it.
Yeah. Yes, and you can catch up on YouTube.
Yeah.
We do have another question. Lee is asking, and this is a good question, how does it feel to go from that on Tuesday to this on Wednesday?
It's such a great juxtaposition. It's so great.
I bet it would be, yeah.
Because in every single stance is something different. It's not only am I going from being a player to being a DM, but I'm going from playing a fun little 80-year-old woman who just loves to like live life to then like playing like in this dark campaign where I'm trying to kill off every NPC that's lovable. And then, you go from Children of Erte, which is kind of more of like a mystery, magical, but it takes place in the real world, so we're all real humans that are like from New York City, that's so different than coming into this very much fantasy world, so everything about it is a complete juxtaposition. But when I think about them in my brain, they both are just like, oh, this is my fun time. Oh, this is my fun time. Oh, they're both my fun time.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Lee's got another question. Have any of the cast seen the show other than Lauren? And do they just love you in it? Well, they should love you.
Are you talking about seeing this show that we're doing?
Yeah.
I think Lauren is the only one. You know what? I take that back. I think Alicia watched episode 1.
Did she?
I think so. I think she was here for it. Either she was here or she watched it. She was and Jen, of course, she supported us at least on the first episode.
Yeah, she dropped in on the first episode, I think.
Yeah. So all wonderful supporters. Yeah, they're great. Yeah. And Jen messaged me. She's just like, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
That's so sweet.
It is. She's the greatest.
Yeah, she sounds great. I haven't met her, but she sounds really great. Yeah.
She's lovely.
Yes. So I think that is all the questions.
Okay.
Looking through my list here. Yep. All right. So anything else you want to say or tease us with, Hope?
Well, we got some really cool stuff coming up on the next episode is going to be fun. It's going to be really good fun. We'll see how far you guys get in it. But then there's only one more episode left, and you know what that episode's going to be. So,
ooh, yeah.
It's we got a lot to get through. We got to get there. Okay. All right. All I can say is I'm really excited because the next episode is one I keep saying that about every episode, but like the next episode is one that I've like really been looking forward to. So
is there, this is a question, is there a chance for episode 6 we might go long because we have to catch up?
100%. I warned you guys at the very, very session 0. I said, be prepared. The 6th episode will probably go long because it'll be a very, very big fight. A very big fight.
Ooh.
So,
unless we somehow avoid the fight.
That's true. 100%. You guys can make any of your own decisions, and I applaud that. Whatever you guys want to do, whatever feels right, you do it. You do you, boo-boo.
Yeah. we roll a nat 20 on Arcana, and then we just defeat him by showing him a mirror. There we go.
You just bring out Steve the Orc.
Oh, Steve the Orc to save the day, and he comes in. Oh, that was quick, man. That Nightmare King wasn't much. All right. Thank you so much, Hope, for your time. Thank you, listeners and watchers, for your questions. Thank you, Fallen Angel, as always, for your long list of questions. We love it. April will be on Sunday, 6 p.m. PT, so we finally got around to April.
Yay!
She's hard to get hold of, but I'll send a tweet about that as a reminder. And now I'm going to try this thing called raiding.
Ooh, we're going to go raid Hane?
We're going to go raid Hane, who is managed by Daniel, who you know from the stream. So if you want to go watch him make beautiful art, do that. Hopefully this works. I've never done it before. Raid
time. That's right. All right. You did it. You did it.
I did it. Yes.
All right. We're raiding.
Ooh, this is
Thank
cool.
you, everybody.
All right. Thanks, everybody. See you soon. Bye.
Just hit the raid button. Yeah.